One of the biggest pieces of BS nowadays is how people separate the body from the mind. There is a whole entire body positivity agenda that tells you that, hey, if you are, if you're 30, 40, 50% body fat, you're still a very disciplined and hardworking person. And I'm sure that there are people who are really overweight, who are out of shape, who are hardworking and disciplined. Sure, correct. But the majority are not. And this is a hard truth, especially for Americans to face, because look at it, guys. We have an obesity crisis. Okay, if we look at 1975 to now, we have increased. If we look at 1975 to now, we have became way fatter, like tenfold. I think it's almost like 2 times fatter. It's not only that, but we have seen, especially in men, that a higher body fat percentage equals a lower testosterone, higher estrogen. Because most people think that their body is a reflection of the genetics, but no, your body is a reflection on how you think. And if you completely change your thinking, you can completely change your body. Because if you haven't noticed, the softer we became, the softer our bodies became. And in this video, we're going to go over how we can use our mind to enhance our body and become the type of person who is in shape regularly, because it all starts here first. Your body is a reflection of the habits you do daily. How you look now is a compound of the habits you've done over the past 5-10 years. So if you've ate cookies every day and you didn't count your calories and you didn't do it the smart way, then you are going to your body's going to reflect that 100%. If you order DoorDash instead of cooking homemade food, your body will reflect that. But it's the same thing the other way around, right? If you start getting 10K steps a day, which by the way burns 500 calories, that's like a meal, and that's like a half of a meal right there. Sometimes for some people, that's like a whole meal. 500 calories, 10K steps, quite easy to get in, right? If you train when you were tired, when you were unmotivated, when you're undisciplined, your body will reflect that. Because habits create neural pathways in the brain. If you continue to do a certain habit, that habit is going to become you. And it's going to be harder to break that habit. That's why I always tell clients, when they have a certain food that they enjoy, I don't say cut out the food. I say, hey, instead of cutting out the food, like you like Coca-Cola, get a Diet Coca-Cola. Hey, you love these certain types of cookies, actually count the macros of those cookies, have that, and then eat healthy for the rest of the day. Build your macros around that. A lot of times we can't really break a habit, but we can adjust the habit. It's very hard to go cold turkey. It's like if you smoke cigarettes every day, you can't just, boom, I'm done smoking cigarettes. Most cigarette users have to get a patch. They have to limit their usage. And this is not just because of you and your discipline. No, it's actually your brain is creating pathways in your head that's signaling you to say, we need this right now. We need sugar right now. We need nicotine. We need drinking. We need drugs. We need this right now. So whatever you rely upon, that is what you are going to just use as daily. It honestly kind of sucks, but it's a blessing at the same time, because if you have a habit of training, you're going to train. If you have a habit of, making YouTube videos, you're going to make YouTube videos, right? If you have a habit of eating healthy, you're going to eat healthy. I've been on a really healthy food wave recently, and you know what's weird? Packaged food kind of disgusts me. Like, I was in the gas station the other day and I was like, isn't it weird that we put our food in packages, like in plastic packages? I just thought that was strange and interesting. The next point is your identity. Do you see yourself as the person who exercises daily? Do you see yourself as the person who is in shape? Do you see yourself as a healthy person? That's something I quickly realized with exercising and working out, is that, man, it all starts up here first, and it all starts about how you see yourself. A book that helped me out a lot with this was Psycho-Cybernetics. It's by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon, and he would adjust the people's faces. They'd say, I have a huge nose, and everybody keeps looking at my nose, and can you help me, doctor? He'd be like, okay. He'd help them out. He'd adjust their nose perfectly to where they wanted it to be, right? And they'd come back and be like, people are still staring at my nose. It healed. It was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with the nose at this point. But they felt like people were still staring at their nose. That is because their identity was that they had a fucked up nose. So every time somebody would interact with them, they'd be like, they're staring at my nose. I know they're staring at my nose. Like, you ever meet somebody and they tell you something like, my insecurity is that I have my left ear is bigger than my right ear. And then you're like, oh, you won't. And then you actually kind of notice it, right? You only noticed it because they picked it out. So that's the same thing with your identity, right? Your identity is very moldable, but the illusion is that it's not. The illusion is that the ego is stagnant, and it wants to be stagnant. It's good to have a stagnant ego, technically, because it helps us solidify ourselves within the third dimensional realm. That's the whole thing. I forgot this was even a workout video. My bad. My fault. But basically, your identity is what is going to control your habits. However you see yourself sets the standards of what you are going to do and the actions that you're going to take. I can't take like a week off of working out. I just can't do it. Why? Because that's just my habits. I can't binge eat like crazy. Why? That's just my habits. That's just who I am. It's the same thing as somebody coming up to me and saying, hi, Nick. What's up, Nick? Like, that'd be kind of weird, right? For somebody to call you out of your name in a serious tone, that'd be strange. Because your ego is your name. Your identity is your name. Somebody said, hi, Dante. Oh, I respond. Somebody say, hi, Nick. I don't respond. Same thing as if I see like 50 honey buns, right? I'm not going to eat those 50 honey buns versus like somebody who weighs like 800 pounds. They may eat those 50 honey buns. The difference is our identity, how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves is the standards that we will hold. Being in shape regularly to me is a standard. It's an identity. It's not something I even hold to a high pedestal. It's just what I do. It's just who I am. That's the thing. In your head, you should live in the end. It's a philosophy from Neville Goddard. Look up Neville Goddard if you don't know, but it's basically living in the end, right? This is what I do with clients as well. If they're like, I want to lose 50 pounds, I don't see you as somebody who needs to lose 50 pounds. I see you as somebody who has maybe gained 50 pounds. I see you as a healthy individual. So I hold you up to those standards. Sometimes people have to look at you at the standard that you would like to be at in order for you to actually elevate. So instead of saying something like, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, I'm trying to eat cleaner, I'm trying to go to the gym, I don't ever say shit like that. I never say stuff like that. I say, I eat clean. I go to the gym. Will I mess up sometimes? Of course. Literally everyone will mess up sometimes. But just because you mess up sometimes, it doesn't take away from the identity, right? Yeah, that was a mess up. Okay. We'll do better tomorrow. Just like that. No negative energy. No, oh, what about this? What about this? This is actually, because the more energy you give that is going to actually affect your identity. You eat dirty once and you're like, am I just the type of person who eats dirty? Am I just the type of person who... No, you're just like, okay, I eat dirty once. Okay, you know? If you believe you are lazy, your brain's going to reinforce that behavior. You believe you're fat, your brain's going to reinforce that behavior. There's people who make Instagram videos or channels, I guess you would call them, or pages, whatever. Their whole page is just about being fat. I'm like, you're never going to get in shape. You're never going to get in shape. Your whole page is just about being fat. That's it. That's all you have to offer. Versus like somebody whose whole page is about maybe self-improvement, maybe self-mastery. Take those two identities. Who's going to be in shape, go to the gym regularly. So it's the same thing on a microcosm. How do you actually believe yourself? Have you been saying the word, I'm trying to blank, I'm trying to blank? Or have you been saying, I am the person. I am the person who does this. I am someone who does this. So I fuck with affirmations, guys. I mean, honestly, I love them. I am the person who does this. I am the person who does this. And I swear to God, you start to say these words, and I've been using them, not really with the training stuff, but with other stuff in my life. You start to say these words, like something happens where your brain's just like, okay, you are the person. Yeah, you are. And it starts raising your standards, right? That could be a whole video. That point in of itself can be a whole video, but we have to move on. I guess that was it. In conclusion, your mind not only at a greater point shapes your reality, but it definitely shapes your body. You could look at somebody and say, that person has good genetics. That person is lucky. That person is this and this and this, right? Externalizing good attributes to somebody else, saying that I don't have this. I'm sure there is somebody in this world who had better genetics than LeBron James, but they never picked up a basketball. But that's it for today, guys. Make sure you like this video. I'm getting like decent amount of views, for me at least, but not a lot of likes. So make sure you like the video, maybe because I put the CTA, the call to action, at the end of the video. So I'm gonna probably put it in the middle of the video as well. But yeah, make sure you like the video, man. Make sure you subscribe, man. We're making more self-mastery and fitness content. We got some ideas, all right? We got some ideas. If you want any one-on-one online coaching where we talk about self-mastery and fitness all in one, make sure you DM me on Instagram. That'll be at Dante Pepper. And we'll see you on the next one.